Well, given the fact 4 versus Vegeta happened this season, guess what? We're getting his son as well. Well, not the same Vegeta's son. Okay, this is going to be confusing to talk about. So, the next time was a matchup. Surprisingly, the fandom is a bit split on. It is Silver the Hedgehog versus Trunks. But surprisingly, not the video game Silver and not the Dragon Ball Z/Super Trunks.
Thankfully.
Thank God.
It is Trunks from Xenoverse/Heroes, I've heard those are connected, versus
They somewhat are.
Silver from Archie comics. I'm like, okay, I don't know why specifically those friends. Maybe it's because of the fact if you really count just game Silver versus even if you just count Dragon Ball Z Trunks. Yeah, that's another Vegeta versus Shadow.
Actually, I've heard arguments that, like, depending on how you scale things, Silver could be, like, maybe Z Trunks. Maybe.
Listen, I don't really like Trunks all that much, but even I feel like against Silver, he's not winning.
Okay, and also this is the second time
Silver's not beating Trunks, to be specific.
I was about to say, this is the second time we've had a father and child duo this season. We had Magneto and Wanda, and now we're getting Vegeta Trunks.
Yeah, very funny. But, yeah, so, okay. I don't really know that much about Archie that much. I have read a few comic books, but nothing to do with Silver. I know about that infamous, that the no-use joke is used so much to the point he got really fed up, and he just...
I have a couple ideas on how I want them to use that.
Well, mate has no use for it. Nah, that didn't really work.
Listen.
But I know about Xeno
I'll
Trunks. I played Xenoverse 1 and 2.
I'll be honest. Going into this, Archie is probably the second most complicated thing I've had to look up. First being mythology.
I don't honestly say
Xenoverse
Dragon Ball is the most convoluted franchise to look into. Because here's the thing, a lot of people love Xenoverse. I think it's okay as a game itself. I even love the whole customizing your character. Huh?
Okay.
Wait, can you guys not hear me?
Cut out there.
Really? Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Let me just make sure everything on my OBS is working fine.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into Squirrel Bill. Okay, no, everything's
we didn't
good.
hear you.
All right.
We just didn't hear you. Then you went into customizing, and that was the first one we heard.
Yeah, like I like Xenoverse, as you know, a fun little game. But the thing that made me stop playing it for a while is the grinding. Hence why I haven't really gone back.
Yeah, I get that.
Hence why I haven't really gone back to play the Goku Black Arc and 2 or the. Hasn't the Broly movie one also been added to that?
Yeah.
Which I will commend them that they've still been updating this game for this. I've even heard that adding the new stuff from the Dragon Ball film that recently came out. That's commendable. That is Dying Light levels of fan service right now. But again, grinding for so long to this is from bad memory. To grind to fight Frieza and Cooler was the most boring moment I've ever had in the game. There was a big difficulty spike. Like defeat Slug and Turles, and then suddenly I'm just getting completely wrecked by this boss fight. And I look up online, it's like, oh, you need to grind to be 5 levels high, and I'm just like, why? Why?
I will say I've been anticipating this fight for a very, very long time, and I've often said that if you had to do it, you would have to use Heroes versus Archie because these are considered the most powerful versions of these particular characters. And I will also say the extra reason I'm excited to be here is because I get to tell you just how complicated Heroes is and how Xenoverse is kind of a lighter adaptation of it, but overall in the grand scheme of things, it has nothing to do with Heroes that much. It just has the characters.
Yeah, I haven't watched a lot of Heroes. All I know is it is set in that sort of same timeline. Well, not even same timeline. Like Xenoverse's story, it's not complicated. It's just it's a bit of a headache to go through. It's like, all right, if you want to understand this, you've got to do this. I don't also like a lot of the characters, like the newer characters. They're pretty generic. Baddies want to destroy the world. The only thing I liked about Xenoverse's story is Beerus just undermining the god that thought he was hypnotizing him, and then Beerus like, by the way, I knew you were there.
That was awesome.
That is the most...
Gotcha, bitch!
That moment right there made me respect Beerus even more. I only played that mission after watching the film, and that moment I was like, yes, man!
Heroes is essentially Dragon Ball's DC Comics. That is the best way I can sum it up.
Now, Heroes is basically just official fan fiction.
Okay, so
That's a
basically...
better summary.
And also fan service out the wazoo. Like, oh, you want Super Saiyan Raditz, Golden Cooler,
Fusion, Trunks, and Vegeta. Here you go.
I've heard they also make Yamcha pretty good in Heroes. Like, he's actually a capable fighter.
Yeah, in the newest multiversal arc, because that is one thing that differentiates Heroes from regular Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball is set in just a small universe. There is no multiverse, but Heroes, the multiverse is real, and they're doing a multiversal tournament.
Well, no, technically the multiverse does exist in Dragon Ball, hence, the tournament. But, yeah, Xenoverse, its whole story, it's set in the whole multiverse, one point Raditz managed to survive his battle against Piccolo and Goku, and he killed them both. Or Piccolo killed Goku.
It's basically Dragon Ball looking at Masako's YouTube channel and going, yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Basically, it's the Marvel What If before Marvel What If.
Basically.
Pretty much, yes. And again,
with OCs as the character.
Dragon Ball Z / Super tend to keep things more simplified, if that's even a thing. Whereas Heroes, it's just convoluted and it just explores everything.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I feel like Trunks... people say Trunks in these games is way worse than he is in the show, but I'll be honest...
He's actually much better.
I will be honest, I feel like they're exactly the same character. And don't get me wrong, I love Xenoverse 2 when you go with Trunks to Piccolo's planet, and he gets his body swapped with Ginyu. That was fucking hilarious.
Yes.
My only gripe is that we don't hear Trunks' voice actor, doing the Ginyu impression.
Yeah, no.
Well, it's the same with, every voice actor. We don't hear Sean Schemmel do, a Ginyu impression.
Japanese,
or Chris Sabat when he swaps with Vegeta.
In the Japanese dub, though, they do. So, when Goku gets taken over by Ginyu, it's actually the actress for Goku doing an impression of Ginyu, and Ginyu's actor doing an impression of Goku's actress.
So what you're saying is the sub did it better?
That was one of the only things I will commend about the Dragon Ball sub is that I'm not sure if it's true in case of the Xenoverse games. I've never heard the Japanese dub for it, but I would be disappointed if they didn't carry on that tradition where, Goku or Trunks doesn't sound like he sounds more like Ginyu than he does Trunks.
Yeah.
There's some highlights in the games, but honestly, I would just say watch a Let's Play of it. Maybe even watch Max a Few Traders Let's Play, which I have been watching. It's pretty fun.
He's going through 2 right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The sad part is Dragon Ball Heroes is an exclusive card arcade game that only exists in Japan, and to this day, it's never sought a US release. Dragon Ball Xenoverse is the closest we've ever gotten, but Dragon Ball Heroes stays exclusive in Japan with its card games, its manga, its short anime commercials. We're stuck here with nothing.
Do you and mate go to the same school of having to pointlessly list off every single thing?
I'm sorry.
I never thought I'd have to use this. Monty Python, do your thing.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
Hey,
All right.
Listen, Bill, we need to give them credit. They used to do Nerd Bender together, so they kind of bounced off each other back then.
I suppose it is. They both they both took bad traits from each other. Okay, but we've talked enough about the games and also, the story of Xenoverse and everything like that. So, this version of Trunks, aside from the games itself, Heroes, he's a lot more different in terms of power scaling, correct?
Yes, he is essentially at Super Goku and Super Vegeta's level.
Yeah, like you saw in the teaser, he has Super Saiyan 3 and Super Saiyan God.
Yes.
Yeah.
God being his most powerful form.
Yes.
Okay, so already, yeah, this version of Trunks way more powerful than the official anime and manga.
Yep.
So, what story does Trunk go for? Aside the fact he works for the, time, what's it called again? The Time Police?
Time Patrol.
Time Patrol. So, yeah.
I was just going to say Supreme Kai of Time.
Yeah. Essentially, his story is more or less he is recruited by the Time Patrol to be their main member of recruiting recruits to go around fixing mistakes in the multiverse that involve time travel or time manipulation. And he has to stop these two bad guys that do show up in Xenoverse 1 and 2. And yeah, that's pretty much it. He has a whole pantheon of story arcs that he goes through that would take way too long. But one of them is he becomes the Great Saiyan Man to go undercover for a fighting tournament.
He goes as the Great Saiyan Man.
He's
superhero gimmick Gohan did.
He's inspired by Gohan. Okay, look up the Great Saiyan Man 3. His costume is actually way better than Gohan's.
I've seen essentially it. I still don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like the
How dare you?
To this day, I've never liked the Great Saiyan Man. It's especially after coming from the Cell Saga, such a disappointing continuation of Gohan's story, and then Trunks does it as well. It's just why?
Well, except when Trunks did it, he wasn't doing what Gohan did, where he would talk like a superhero, make those poses. No, he was still the same badass. He was just wearing a suit of armor with a sword and a helmet on it.
Okay, I will say, when Trunks did it, and this is probably one of the few good things I'll say about Trunks, yes, he did, he did pull it off better.
I'll take what I can get.
We're allowed to disagree. It's not the sin.
Fair enough. But yeah, no, Trunks' story is more or less the same, except he's just going around stopping random disruptions in time with his 9 students that he has right now.
It's a shame none of them are Dumpling. That man should be canon. That man needs to be canon.
And they're all sucked from the Dragon Ball Heroes game, if I remember correctly. They're playing the Dragon Ball Heroes game, and they get sucked into the game and recruited by Trunks and Pan and the Great Kai and the Supreme Kai of Time.
You all thought Xenoverse was confusing.
And when you already get some complicated source material and add more onto it, what the do you expect?
Yeah, Heroes, isn't the main gimmick about Heroes is, though it introduces new characters, it also brings back pre-villains like Cell, Nappa, and all the rest, and they get some, big buff.
Yes, you can essentially battle against heroes and villains from the past, the present, and the future.
Oh no, I meant in the Hero story, aside Xenoverse, doesn't in Heroes, they bring back Cell and he becomes ultimate form, ultra ultimate form Cell or something like that.
I think it's Cell X.
Okay,
yes,
that's
Cell
a lot more
X.
simple. I'll give them credit. At least they kept it simple.
They also brought back future Gohan, but they also introduced the Dark Dragon Balls, which give you a dark power-up, and yeah, you can apparently be above average in your power level.
For a moment, I thought they were talking about Darth Vader's testicles.
No.
That's a spicy meatball! And I say ball because the other half burnt off.
I think both of them burned off.
You don't know that. Have you checked?
Stop reminding me of Suspect.
He's gonna kill me if I do check.
That's actually kind of true. I bet there's been one Imperial that tried to pants Vader, and he immediately got force choked.
These are my custom pants given to me by Emperor Palpatine.
Why'd you give him?
Why did you touch me?
That is not a Vader voice.
No, that was some weird James Bond villain voice.
I don't have the Vader filter.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real here. No one can ever pull off the James voice.
I can, but I
Shut up!
It's
You
man.
cannot. Shut up.
I can. If I ever do a demo reel, you'll see it.
Do you know what?
Anyways, do we get to talking about Trunks' opponent?
All right, yeah.
Yes,
Wait,
Silver.
before we do that, like Richard, if you actually ever do that, send it to me and I will judge it. All right, and I'll judge harshly.
This
Okay.
will be in America. This is just like America's Got Talent, but Bill's the only judge. He's Simon Cowell.
No, Bricky Dave will be there. All right, but speaking of bricks
Yes,
and who I
Ricky
want to
Dave
throw
will be
them
Howie
at,
Mandel. They both have a bald head.
fair enough.
Moving on.
Oh yeah. Speaking of bricks that I wish to throw at someone, Silver. You guys can talk about him.
yay!
You guys can talk about him. I have nothing positive to say about him.
He's
Okay,
all right,
we
I
got
guess.
Alright,
Simon
so
Hedgehog.
yeah, much like Trunks, Silver comes from a doomed future. Tried to travel back in time. Let's say things didn't go quite right, and then, well, the less we talk about 06's story, the better.
Agreed.
Yeah, he's mostly known for being a psychic. He's got his psychokinesis, which, well, is like telekinesis. He can fly. He can create force fields.
He could choose
And of
your
course, like
boss
Sonic
fight.
And of course, like Sonic and Shadow, he can access the power of the Chaos Emeralds. He can use Chaos Control, like he does it in the 06 games. That's the whole reason Sonic and Shadow are able to time travel.
Time, huh?
Yeah, that's why that's going to be important for this fight. He also has a super form, and I decided to look up the Versus Wiki profile for these two just to list like abilities. Oh my god, Silver has a lot.
Indeed, he does.
Okay, let me give you an idea because I had to do research on it. We got Silver Archie comics from Archie pre-Genesis, Archie post-Genesis, and IDW.
Yeah.
And I think the researchers have said they are still taking games into account, as it could just be like a Broly situation. Like they'll say
Yeah.
Archie is our primary source, but we're going to use all this other stuff for like story and abilities.
Because
I mean,
Silver
Yeah.
has,
Doesn't Archie, Sonic,
an
Xenoverse...
exclusive.
Sorry, I was just going to say, doesn't like Silver and the Archie comics still have a similar origin story? It's just that he does more in the Archie comics.
I
It's
guess.
a little bit different.
Yeah.
To my original point, they'll probably bring up Silver's other form in the game called ESP Silver, ESP.
Mm-hmm.
Transformation before Super Silver.
Okay. Interesting.
S Silver's not too spectacular. It's just like when you have a boss that has 3 stages. You're like, oh, it's the middle stage everyone forgets about.
I did hear from Brobuscus that Ultra confirmed that Silver will more or less be a composite version of his Archie and other source materials.
Yeah, it's possible that they are going to talk about S Silver too.
Yes.
Start using it in the fight. Hard to say. I don't know.
Alright.
Yeah, I mean, we know in the fight it's going to be Super Silver versus Super Saiyan God Trunks.
Yes.
Okay.
Because it has to be.
So the biggest difference here is that in the game Silver, Silver was kind of born with his powers, whereas in Archie, he was gifted powers and was trained by Mammoth Mogul.
Ah, the Mammoth Man from Archie
Yes.
Sonic
Yeah.
versus Flash.
Yeah,
Actually
the
had
guy
to
who
look
came
at-
up with that ingenious plan to kill Sonic, which is wait until he dies of age.
I had to actually reference Archie Sonic versus Wally West a little bit for today's 60 seconds. Because,
Oh, we're doing that?
yeah,
Well,
Oh, right.
yeah. I
talked
mean,
about that.
Yeah, that's...
I
Because here's
forgot.
the
I forgot
thing.
who's doing who.
Oh.
I'm doing
Uh,
Trunk.
Here's
Okay,
the
well,
thing.
Richard, can you do it somewhere private? We got a 60-second debate to do.
Okay, I'll finish a statement real quick. The reason I needed to bring up Supersonic is because Ian Flynn, the creator of Archie Sonic comics, has stated that they're very similar in a lot of ways. and all the forms can last as long as they need to. So it'll be interesting to see how they take the word of God in this one.
Yeah, okay. I think when you mention that, we do need to specify sometimes the word of God is bullshit. You know, like when Stan Lee said years ago, "Oh, Daredevil's hearing's better than Spidey's senses." Well, sorry to say, Stan Lee, but your comics of Spider-Man disproved that.
Or like when the creator said that Bayonetta would absolutely beat Dante.
Yeah, it's even now. I don't really think Dante, or I don't think Bayonetta would beat current Dante.
No.
Right. So taking the word of God, it's really risky or convoluted because word of God can just make up things on the spot, and it's never been shown in their stories.
Okay, here's a point that Ian also brought up. One of the fights was Supersonic versus Enerjack Knuckles. That fight lasted day to night, so technically it can last at least for a duration of a fight like that.
Yeah, and that's something that they brought up in Archie versus Flash.
Yeah.
So we have a good idea on what they're going to say about the time limit.
Yeah, so aside telekinesis, what other powers does Archie Silver have? Because Mate kind of brought up, he has a lot, but what exactly does he have?
Okay.
Low regeneration is one of them.
Okay, I have the list here. This is in his super form, and this might also just be here's what Chaos users have been shown to be able to do. So theoretically, Silver should be able to do similar stuff.
Alright, let's hear it.
Okay, self-sustenance, true flight and space flight, energy manipulation, reality warping, conceptual manipulation, invulnerability, regeneration, empowerment, higher dimensional manipulation, age manipulation, BFR, battlefield removal, healing and resurrection, purification, duplication, force field creation, absorption.
Okay, first, the thing that really got me the most was reality morphing. Wow, that's not something to scoff at. If he could morph reality. So, that's kind of interesting. So, Sean, you've looked up a lot of Archie Silver stuff before we started recording. What kind of battles has he won?
Okay. As far as battles, the biggest one people are going to bring up is Solaris.
Oh, yes. That's
Solaris, for those of you that don't know, is a being who can move within time.
I've already made the joke, I'm not going to make it again.
Specifically, time periods.
Yeah, and he's also the final boss in the 06 game.
Solaris has been compared Supersonic. And God, what was the name of the form above Supersonic? What was that one called?
Ultra.
Yeah. Even was able to stand on par with Ultrasonic for a while.
Okay, and he also was a reality morph, and that's nothing to scoff at. Again.
Solaris is probably going to be the biggest one that people can think of, and because Silver has been able to keep up with people like Sonic, Knuckles, Shadow,
and
a lot of people in the Arch universe also use a similar power set. They use the same energy of Chaos energy.
I was also talking to Kier the past couple nights, and he's told me that Silver also survived the battle with Enerjack. And in other timelines, Enerjack had beaten Supersonic, Super Shadow, well, basically all the cast, all of Eggman's Empire at once, and all of Gun.
Interesting.
So yeah, Enerjack's not to be messed with.
You know what's funny? Mate was looking on this. Silver actually gets a lot of resistances as well, thanks to his super form.
Yeah, that's one of the big things known about the super forms.
Oh yeah, I'm just looking at that list too.
Yeah, you have to essentially wait until it runs out to kill or defeat the person.
Here's a couple of examples for Bill, and I'll let Mate read the rest. He has resistance to magic, corruption, mind and soul manipulation, just to name 4.
Okay.
He's also got resistance to speed reduction, and remember they mentioned in Wally versus Archie that Sonic could use his Chaos Power to just replenish any stolen speed. Biological manipulation, transmutation, life force absorption, mind erasure, soul erasure, electricity paralysis, law manipulation, matter manipulation, reality warping, power nullification, poison, like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he sounds way more impressive than, like, honestly, Archie Sonic.
Well, to be fair, I'm pretty sure Archie Sonic has these abilities because, as Mate and Sean have pointed out, anybody who uses the power of the Chaos Emeralds are essentially granted these abilities, more or less. It's just Silver has his own stack of abilities without the Chaos Emeralds.
Honestly, the biggest drawback with Silver is that not only do his powers have a limit, this guy is fucking gullible. He's only 14, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, he'll look at someone like Mephiles who will say, oh, you have to kill this guy to save your future, and be like, I instantly believe you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure there
that's
have been
one of the
cases
reasons I
where
never liked
Knuckles
Silver.
has even tricked Silver.
Okay,
Oof.
if you could be tricked by Knuckles, you're an idiot.
Look, it's hard to beat up a 14-year-old psychic, as Tetsuo has proven. He gave Magneto a run for his money.
Agreed.
Yeah, I will give credit. You know, Tetsuo was definitely an even match for Magneto, but at the same time, I don't know. It definitely feels... One of the reasons I never really liked Silver to begin with is just that, one, he was so overconfident at times, he was also very annoying, and also he was just so gullible at so many... Like, he's been tricked so many... More times than Knuckles, I'd reckon, in one game. Knuckles was only tricked once, and he was never tricked again by Eggman. Oh wait, no, there was Sonic Adventure. I take that back.
Okay, so
Okay, but
here's something
twice.
crazier.
But Silver's been tricked like 4 times. It's sad.
I'm going to point this out. This isn't part of like his actual powers. In his arsenal, he's been shown to wield something called a super warp ring. And you might be asking, what does a super warp ring do?
Is it a ring
Allows
that
you to
warps?
go through. No, it actually lets you travel time and teleport between dimensions.
Don't tell Ben 10 that. I'm just picturing a cease and desist coming from the Green Lantern Corps to Silver.
Silver's like, fuck you, I do what I want. And also, he's got an Infinity Stone. Technically.
Wait, hold on, what?
Oh, yeah, he has something called the Time Stone.
Oh, okay, so he doesn't actually have an Infinity Stone. I was like, wait a minute. There's some
Yeah.
copyright laws there.
Okay, the Time Stone. Time Stones are objects that appear in Sonic the Hedgehog's animated series, which is what Archie is kind of based off of, from my recollection when talking to Richard about doing footage for the Archie Sonic trailer for Wally West.
Yeah, that was actually one of the things. Like when the animated Sonic show got cancelled, they continue it through comics. That's what a lot of shows tend to do.
Basically, Time Stones will allow you to go in time and space, in time, but also space.
So unlike Trunks, like he can just essentially in the middle of a fight just time travel.
I've heard
Yes.
apparently Xenotrunks can do that too.
Also, the thing
Really?
is, also the Super Warp Ring is something to be taken into consideration because of the whole dimension hopping thing.
Oh yeah,
And
do you know Trunks can
again-
do that? Yeah, he has the gadget. Okay, fair enough.
Again, one of the biggest reasons Wally West beat Sonic was because he can warp through dimensions in reality.
Ah, that is true. And just wait out until
So
the
Silver-
super form went out.
No, that's the Super Warp Ring that can do that with dimensions.
Okay, this is interesting because I was really going into this thinking, like, Trunks, Xeno Trunks could win, but now I'm actually kind of split. So, since we've gone for a while, should we get to the 60 seconds?
It's funny you say
so,
split,
yes.
because there is something else Trunks has we'd have to talk about.
You want to bring it up before we do our 60 seconds?
A little something called the Key Sword.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I do know about the Key Sword, yes.
Can you give me a brief rundown before 60 seconds?
Well, I've heard like all sorts of different stuff about this, but it gives Trunks like a whole bunch of abilities, including apparently the ability to just like turn off people's like hacks.
Okay, I didn't know it did that. I just thought it was like the Dragon Ball Super moment where he could just channel like the Spirit Bomb in it.
No.
And it gives him like a whole bunch of like different like resistances, like manipulation abilities. Like, although a lot of it is stuff that I listed that Silver should be resistant to as well.
It's going to be interesting then, based off what you just said, of how the Key Sword's going to function against Archie Silver. But we've delayed this long enough. It is time for bros versus lads. This is the closest we're going to get to it.
Yeah, well, yeah, as I was going to say, it's more or less one lad versus one bro.
Okay, so we were talking about this before we wanted to get Richard on today. I think we talked about it last night. I remember talking to Richard about it ahead of time. So, Richard, you will be representing Trunks.
Nice.
As stated by our agreement in DMs, and I will be going against you, the lad with the best record. And also, this gives Bill and Mate a rest, because last 60 seconds, it was them doing it. This way, it kind of evens out.
I've kind of done nearly all the 60 seconds at this point.
Same.
Well,
Do you want me to time you?
Yes, Mate, would you be so kind as to be our timer, please?
Alright, so is Richard going first because it's Trunks versus Silver?
I think that's how we normally do it. So, Richard, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Go for it.
Alright. 60
Okay.
seconds on the clock. Go.
Okay, so Trunks has, in my opinion, the better battle experience of the two. He's been at this for a long time. He, of course, has a greater range of abilities physically than Silver. He obviously has experience with people who can go through time dimensions and manipulating time, what have you. His God form also gives him a higher boost in power, and I think that is going to be enough to overwhelm Silver for a time. And the Key Sword is his main trump card. If he manages to hit Silver with it, Silver could be in trouble. And I also do believe that Trunks is the more tactical of the two. He's not gullible, and he is able to form battle plans in mid-fight. He's much smarter than Goku and Vegeta combined because he doesn't fuck around. If a threat is there, he'll put it down. No hesitation. That is why I think Trunks will be able to give Silver a run for his money, at least for a short time.
Yeah, your 60 seconds were up like 5 seconds ago.
Why didn't you tell
Comparing his
him?
intelligence to Goku? Really? That's the best argument?
Yeah, I was really waiting on to cuss him out for that.
I stand by it.
Okay, the Key Sword. Definitely something that's going to be problematic, I feel like. But I shall do my best to compete against you, good sir.
Yeah,
We'll show you why the lads are superior to Robust Cast.
Yeah, I feel like we should give him 65 seconds as well, given the fact Richard went on a bit longer.
I
All right.
apologize for that.
Yeah, and mate, you probably should have told him
Don't worry.
like your time was up.
Yeah,
We did that our
Probably.
first time too, okay? We've done that the first time we've done 60 seconds, so I wouldn't fret too much. Worked the
Okay.
pun in there, so I think Yang the Insane will be happy at the end of the day.
I don't know, she's very critical about our puns. It's sad. Well, mostly to
Alright,
me.
are you ready?
Okay.
Alright, 65 seconds. Go.
So, Trunks is going to come in second for this battle against Archie Silver. Archie Silver in his base form is absurdly powerful, yes, but when we get into Super Silver, which is probably going to be the main factor of this fight, he gets a bunch of resistances, such as resisting Soul, Mind, Corruption, Speed Reduction, and Magic. He also has a lot more in his arsenal as far as magic abilities go, just being able to fly, warp reality, invulnerability, and can empower himself to be on par or even stronger than Super Saiyan God. He can also heal himself, and based off what you told me, good sir, Trunks does not have that. Even if you're able to shut off Silver's abilities with your key sword, he's got items that allow him to get away, such as the Super Warp Ring, as we discussed, as well as the Time Stone. He can buy himself ways to get out of the situation whenever he feels like, and Trunks has no way of tracking him down. Overall, the key to Silver's victory is going to be time. And sadly for Trunks, he's going to end up like his dad, with his head squished.
And time.
Hey, you managed to time it better than Richard.
Although I would have ended it with, like, much like his dad, Trunks is going to be taking the silver medal.
Oh.
I already did a second place joke at the start of my analysis.
I find it funny because you're trashing on Trunks, but then it's reminding me like, oh yeah, Vegeta lost. My boy.
And supposed to, okay? We did this for fun. And I thought about working a chemistry joke. I can't work the abbreviation in it, to be honest. As the periodic table abbreviation for silver is AG, so that would have been very hard.
Alright, well, since we have gone on for a while, so, shall we give our final thoughts on who we're going for? Because from hearing both your arguments, I am probably going to go for Xenoverse Trunks. I was originally going to go Xenoverse Trunks, but yeah, I'm sticking by that. I'm thinking he could win this. Because it seems like they both have a way of cancelling each other's out of their, like, time and reality morph. Well, mostly Silver's reality morphing, so I think it's mainly going to come down to their fighting experience, and I feel like Trunks will definitely have a way of getting through to Silver. At least in my opinion.
Okay, so that's one vote for Xeno Trunks. Mate, how about you?
I think... Okay, well... Slight history with this matchup, I've never really been into it as a death battle because it just would feel like a... It just feel like a redo of Vegeta Shadow. Like, we would just be waiting 2 weeks, like, okay, so Trunks is gonna kill Silver. Like, let's just get this over with. But the fact that it's these two versions, it's actually interesting. And with everything said, I think I might have to go with Silver. Because of like all the... Because of all the manipulations he has, yes, the key sword is meant to like shut stuff like that off. But under Silver's resistances, there's like him being resistant to like corruption and various other stuff. So in theory, he could also resist the key sword. At least I think, maybe. Oh, and magic.
All right. I guess.
And also, there's the fact that his super form is invincible. So as long as he's in that form, Trunks isn't going to be able to touch him. Now, the whole, like, could he get a hit on him with the key sword? The issue with that is that, well, we know how fast the casts are in Archie, and that's immeasurable.
Mm-hmm.
So, Silver's absolutely going to outpace him. So... Like, they also might be even in terms of like power output, but when you like take that into account, the resistances, other manipulations that they have, it just comes down to the one has immeasurable speed for absolute definite. I've heard claims that Trunks might as well. But even that aside, one is also just invincible and has like infinite stamina, all that stuff. So I'm gonna go with Silver.
All right, so do we want my prediction before our guest, or do we want to go with me?
Wait, what? Do we want to go with me, or do you want to go with me again?
Do you want me to make my prediction, or should we let Richard make a prediction?
Yeah, that makes more sense. I was just thinking, like, wait, does Richard not get saying this? You get to have
Yeah,
two
I guess
predictions?
I'm asking you which one you want us to do first.
I mean, does it? I mean, I guess we're Richard's a guest. I guess he'll go last. I don't know.
Okay.
We never really coordinated this, to be
No,
honest.
I think that's fair.
Go ahead.
Okay, so based off all the arguments that we've gone back and forth with, even if both speeds are immeasurable, just based off the defenses, I think I'm sticking with my boy Archie Silver on this one. Because again, even if Trunks can hit him with that sword, Silver has items that can help him out. Chaos Emeralds, Time Stones, Super Warp Ring. Sounds like it only affects their abilities, not actual items. Unless Trunks can specifically hit those items. So I think I'm gonna go with Silver.
Alright. So I guess...
Oh, and it should also be mentioned. I forgot to mention this. Silver's energy manipulation and absorption.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of a big red flag going against any Dragon Ball character?
now that you mention it, I
here's
guess
my
that
thing as
is.
well. You look at, again, we brought him up, Archie Sonic. Biggest reason he lost against Wally was able to go through dimensions and all his attacks. Trunks doesn't have anything like that.
Couldn't you just go back to like the patrol like area and just wait it out? I mean, that was what I was going with for the first time. If you can just time travel as well.
He could,
Time
but
travel.
I'll
both
let.
can do that.
I'm actually going to rethink this. And Richard, if you want to,
Oh, no rethinking, good sir.
wait, we're
No,
still recording.
until the end of this podcast, let him do
Well,
it.
that's
Yeah.
not how it works. We never specified that rule.
Yes, we did. We said on video
goodness.
if whoever we say our final say on. So that's what I'm saying. Let me rethink this and.
Boo!
Oh, fine.
your pun.
I guess fine. I won't. Bloody hell. Fine.
Oh, I'm booing your pun.
What pun?
You made a Saiyan pun and didn't notice.
I feel like this is starting to drag on.
yeah.
Oh
Oh
my
my
God.
god. All right, my prediction.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna, and assuming I'm allowed to on my own podcast, rethink my decision.
Look, I ain't got
And
no
I was just
objections.
booing you because of your pun.
I didn't pun. Richard, go ahead.
Okay. I have been mixed on this matchup for a long time. I'm, of course, a hardcore Trunks fan. Always have been. Always will be. I have the fucking replica sword right behind me. This thing is very sharp. I met Eric Val this year. I love this character. So, with all of that said, based off the arguments and my own research beforehand, I'm about to shock the world. I'm going with Silver.
I mean, I kind of
do
expected
think
you
that-
to do this.
I convinced the man arguing for Trunks? Ads, I think
do-
we just beat the Bro Buzzcast right there and then.
I mean,
Wait, look.
Take this victory.
wait, actually, I wondered that. Would the points of guest count to us? I don't think it would. That would be unfair.
Look, it's your guys' show. You do what you want. But I will say, yes, does Trunks... The points I made are still valid. Trunks has better battle experience. He has more options when it comes to up close and personal fighting. But that can only get you so far because, as Sean and Mate have pointed out, Archie Silver just has more hacks in his corner. And even if those hacks fail him, he has others in the back pocket. So it really would come down to, would Trunks be able to hit him with the key sword? And since there is an argument to be made that Silver is more immeasurable in his speeds than Trunks, because I'm pretty sure they are going to use the quintillion for Trunks, so it's still calculable. But Silver, he really will take the speed game. And I don't see Trunks being that fast enough to hit him with that sword. And plus two, like Mate just said, the biggest problem Trunks is going to run into is energy absorption. He can fire all of his ki at Silver, and Silver's just going to take it and fire it back, leaving Trunks with little to no options other than to use the key sword. So I think Silver will take this, and my winning streak will continue.
Well, after reevaluating, and honestly, my main thing going into it was, I think we all agree that Trunks is the better, like, close combat fighter, but...
Oh, definitely.
Here.
But I
100%.
think, but one of the main things that made Archie Sonic struggle against Wally was, of course, the energy absorption and the ability to just, just duck out of the fight until the opponent was weak. And if Silver can do that better than Trunks, I'm going by your words, by the way, so if I join you guys in this and I'm wrong, then I'll just be sad. What? I wouldn't hurt these guys. What am I?
If you join us, we're all still tied if we're all wrong. But if you stick with Trunks and you win, you and I are tied for first.
Okay, here's the thing. I kind of want to go for Trunks in the hopes that maybe if I lose, I can stop that whole curse thing that I've given myself where I'm right about one and wrong about the other. But at the same time, I don't know. I feel like I'm just setting myself up just to end something pointless, whereas this one I can increase my score in it, and it seems more convincing for Silver, so I'm not just doing this just because they're all doing it. I am thinking closely now, and the energy absorption is the thing that's really getting to me, so without stalling, I think I will join these guys for Silver. Watch, that episode's going to come out, we're all wrong, and past me is just going to be like, why didn't I stick with Trunks?
Or you're right, and we all win.
I guess no one loses this then in that case, but
I mean, I kind of lose because I have to see my boy die, and I do like him more than Goku, so yeah.
Well, think of it this way: it's not like canon Trunks. He could still come in and get another fight.
This is true, yeah, and they will bring Trunks back to fight Cable or Chrono from Chrono Trigger.
Which, by the way, like, it's funny that a non-canon version of Trunks gets him before Trunks himself.
That is very weird.
And also, of all characters to be the next Archie rep, it's Silver.
We're living in a
more
crazy...
shocking, that's
I
the
would have
next
thought would be
Sonic
Knuckles.
rep.
That's
That's the
true,
next
yes.
Sonic rep.
Yeah, Silver's our first new Sonic character since Amy Rose.
Trunks is our first new Dragon Ball character since, Master Roshi?
Goku Black.
Goku Black, yes.
Do we count Metal Sonic, though?
He was in Eggman vs. Wily,
yeah,
and he won that episode,
Oh, okay.
which is still funny.
Yes.
yeah. So we've gone on for an hour and a half now, which not too bad. So hence why we didn't do the third topic, because there was a lot to talk about, especially with these two particular characters. And yeah, so I'm sticking to my gun. I'm laying it down now in recording. I am going with Silver, Archie Silver. So I hope I'm only going by what these guys say. Watch, Robuscus or someone else is in the comments going to be like, well, actually, here's things they all left out for Trunks. I'm just going to be like, shit.
There might be things we left out for Silver as well. You never know.
Hey,
Yeah.
my primary focus was Silver, not Trunks.
Yeah. So,
My primary focus was Trunks, but also looking into Silver because I'm cautious. Because, again, I've been on a winning streak at the beginning of this year, so I'm very careful and thorough.
Wait, what? No, you went for Scarlet Witch on Zatanna vs. Scarlet Witch.
No. Probuscus, you can ask Probuscus about the detail. I went for Z. I initially said Scarlet Witch could win. I never fully gave my consent to, I'm going for Scarlet Witch.
Regardless.
No, in the recording, you
Regardless.
said Scarlet Witch. Don't try it, mate.
Regardless of predictions from earlier, even if you got that one wrong, you're still on a good winning streak anyway, so a winning streak is still on the line for you.
Thank you.
Alright, well, even though he's technically not on a big old win streak, so...
Shut up.
Bigger than ours, Bill.
Alright, well, we haven't gone on for
Okay,
too
enough
long.
of this streak measuring contest.
Alright, yeah, so shall we wrap up? Have we all said our piece?
Yes.
One last thing I do want to say on just like why I want Silver to win. It's just like whenever this fight is done in like anything, it's always games versus canon, and
Yes.
even if it's like non-research, it always ends with Trunks winning because freaking duh. So
There's more bias for him.
yeah, honestly, after all these years, I want to see Silver get a win.
As do I.
I
As
don't.
do I.
If I really
The guy's been through enough.
honestly, if Death Battle only went by votes on who they chose for the audience to choose to win, which would be a terrible decision for a research show, I would go with
topic
Trunks.
idea.
I don't think there's any point to that.
Yeah, I concur with Mate. I mean, especially since Mate had to watch Sonic die not once but twice, so he needs this.
Oh, this is Silver.
I know, but Silver, I also agree. And everybody has always said that, if Ben Singer ever allowed Silver to be in, there was this nasty little thing that came out that wasn't true, but supposedly if Silver ever got in, Ben would vindictively come up with a way for Silver to lose.
Wasn't that the same case with Sasuke?
And he lost.
And he lost.
Although they went into that episode thinking Sasuke was going to win. And
exactly. So I think people
they constantly double check to make sure, like, wait, is this right?
I think people just try to find things to hate Death Battle on. That's all I'm going to say at that point, because we've been going on for a while.
Right.
Yes.
I will tell you something funny about that point when we're done recording.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I just say thank you guys for bringing me back on? It's always a pleasure to chat with you. And it just brings me back to the old days when it was me, Jaru, and Billy. God, I miss the old crew.
And Steve the Elephant. Don't
I'm
forget
still
about
here.
him. Wait, you were here?
I was your editor since
But you weren't on the podcast.
No,
you were
it's
the
Sean.
editor.
Yeah, man.
No, I was trying to make the joke like, oh, you were here? Like, Never mind, the joke went over your heads. It's... To quote the Joker, if I have to explain a joke, there is no joke!
Actually, speaking of jokes, I have one last thing.
No, okay, let this be the last thing.
Sorry.
Let us end it.
Sorry. Okay, somewhere they probably will end up using the "it's no use" meme. Here's my suggestion. Have Trunks say it, and then Silver gets mad.
Oh, so like Ryuko vs. Shadow.
Pretty much like what happens in the comics.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Well, and yeah, with Shadow v. Ryuko. Like, yeah, but...
Alright,
Okay.
So, thank you all so much for watching, and if you enjoyed what you saw here, be sure to share the video around, get the channel growing, and stick around, we'll have more content for you in the future. Richard, as the guest, do you also want to do your outro?
Thank you all for having me. If you enjoyed, go check out my own channel where I do video essays. I retired from Death Battle. I hope you like. And until then, hail to the king, baby.
You say that, yet you still do a podcast on it.
That's different.
It's not. You're early, mate. Do your outro.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe. If you did not enjoy, be sure to like and subscribe. Check out mine, Sean's, and Richard's channels, and yeah, all that stuff Bill said. Bye.
And Shawnee Poo.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Thank you folks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this edition of Let's Discuss Death Battle. Let us know your thoughts on Black Adam versus Apocalypse. And who are you going for Xeno Trunks versus Archie Silver? And do you think of me in this suit? It's not going to be a regular thing. Here I am near 2 hours later, still in this suit.
I think you look cute.
I'll let Paige hear you say that now.
I won't.
Oh, get a room.
So, outro.
Thank you folks for watching. Check out any links Bill puts in the description. And I love reading your comments. I will see you all later.
In honesty, given how convoluted we've been throughout most of this, getting a decent outro was no use.
Ouch.